never mind. Right, so what we're going to do tonight, there's no sort of like cutting or structure exactly. We are going to do some decorating, and we're going to put this this little catch in here that shuts it all up with some magnets as well. Now I'm going to stick exactly to the papers that I have used on my original, because I know that that works. But if you want to go off and do your own thing, then go off and do your own thing. But just bear in mind that obviously, you know, you've got two packs of the Lady Vagabond, because these papers are just so gorgeous for the book. That was why we needed 2 packs of them. No, it's a British company called Bramble Fox, and there is a link to that as well in the the cutting guide, and to the what do you call it, the drop down menu that you get on YouTube. But it's bramble.fox.co.uk, and all of the things that I've used, the take note, there's moments there, beautiful there, everyday there, they're all acrylic words cut out by Bramble Fox. So do go and have a look, because I've got quite a collection actually of their stuff that I really should use more of. Right, so yeah, so I'm going to, when I make this book up, and we're going to do it slowly because of the way that I've used the papers, and so that I can show you exactly what I've used where. So I'm going to basically make an thank you, description box. That's the one I needed. I'm going to do it exactly the same as this, but if you're confident and you want to go off and do your own thing, then go off and do your own thing. There's something not right with this camera. Oh, I know why. I've turned it round the wrong way round. Should be working over here somewhere. Okay. Hi, Danette. Oh, I know the feeling. Right, so it's going to take us a little bit longer because I'm going to do every single step with you this time. Just to give you the heads up on how we're going to do it. So tonight it's going to be about pattern paper, and it's about putting this clasp in, okay? Right, so here we go. We have got our book that we made last week. We put our hinges in, and what we're going to do now is rub all the cat hair off. If you haven't got cat hair on it, it's not a proper mini book. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by folding it up so that we're going to make this book the shape that it should be now. So I'm just going to get a ruler, just something long, and I'm just going to carefully just fold, and it'll suddenly come up like that. Now, so I can see that that's quite straight, and I've got things where they need to be, okay? And now I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. I'm just going to fold that up. There we go, and it'll just suddenly go. And now our book will become, our briefcase will become briefcase shaped. Now do be careful, just make sure that it's not ripping. It shouldn't, it absolutely shouldn't, because we've left it for such a good length of time. But now our briefcase, that'll fit in there and that'll fit in there, is now briefcase shaped. And there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to start off by adding in the clasp, and we're also going to add in some magnets that go on here as well, okay? So, first of all, Mark and I have been pondering this all afternoon, the best way to do it, because on my original, we did it after the event, because the way that I did it didn't keep it closed. So these closures were an idea that Mark had actually, to keep the book closed, because it just wasn't working the way that I did it. It wasn't working with magnets. That's why we've now got this clasp. So here's Mark's working out, okay? So I might need to shout him in a minute, because we've been working on this afternoon, the best way to do it. So we're going to start off by only putting one piece of patterned paper on. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the patterned paper that goes here, which is this bit, okay? So that is the only piece at the moment of pattern paper that we're going to put on. So if you grab your pattern papers, this piece is from the Lady Vagabond paper pack. get that open. Oh, I do love opening the first time you open a new pack of papers. It's just brilliant, isn't it? Okay. So I'm going to want that piece. So you can see it's the one that's opposite these rather nice suitcases here on the back of Our Lady there. Okay. So, oh, sorry, I'm just sniffing the paper because it's lovely. Whoa. Right, okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to put this piece of pattern paper on here. So I am going to measure that and I'm going to cut it down. So the piece that I cut, I always tend to cut 1/8 of an inch smaller than the size I measure. So this piece is 10 by 4 inches. So I'm going to cut this piece of patterned paper at 9 7/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, so let me just, oh, my trimmer's way over the other side of the room. Hang on. Right, so as you can see, because we've got to be careful about this, as you can see, I've got this stripy pattern paper here at the back, but then I've brought it up all the way across and to the back of my book there. Can you see that? So we're going to have to be fairly careful about the way that we cut it. So if you're going to follow me, what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to cut this width, okay, which is going to be, because I can sort of cut it that side, so I'm going to turn this the wrong way round. So if you're going to do this exactly the same, you can see that I've got, it's upside down at the moment, okay, and I am going to cut that at 9 7/8 of an inch. Now I know I don't usually go into this sort of depth when it comes to cutting, but I know that there's a lot of you who want to do it exactly the same as me, and if it ain't broke, why fix it, to be honest with you. Okay, so I've now cut that, but my 4-inch piece needs to be this bit at the bottom. Can you move the camera out a bit, please? No, I can't at the moment. It's just, it keeps falling down. I need to get another holder because it's just not. I can try, but it's everything's likely to fall down. Oh. Yeah, it's not, I don't know, it's just not working out for me tonight at all. Well, no, because it's just going to fall down. I've already switched it off once. You can try. Right, it'll probably fall down again in a minute, but right, so we're going to have to start by cutting this 4 inches bit at the bottom, because we want to be able to follow these bits through here. So here's your piece of paper. Like I said, it's 9 7/8 inches across. But we're going to cut our first piece at the bottom, not from the top, but from the bottom, at 3 7/8 of an inch. Put this to one side, but you're going to need it again in a minute. So this piece that we've just cut will fit on there like that, okay? Now, it's entirely up to you whether or not you want to ink the edges. I'm not going to ink the edges of this. I did on my original. I'm not going to do it on this one because it's just going to take too long, and we're going to have quite a while, you know, things are going to take quite a while as it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some glue on the back of here. And I'm going to glue that onto the top there, like that. Okay. Like I said, if you want to ink the edges, then by all means do. Right, now, this is where it gets fun, because Mark did this bit, not me. What we've got to do, everything's going to move now, is measure here. So let me see what he's written. You're going to love this. Some good measurements here.
Double check it.
Right. Although this doesn't have to be 100% exact, you know.
No. Put it down there.
Right. Get your pencil, because we're going to be covering this bit anyway. I can't see where. And I want you to measure 5 inches in, which is going to be halfway, and about 1.25 inches up. There, okay? So that, where I've made that mark, that's my halfway mark, okay? So if I take... I can't see what I'm doing because it's lagging behind so much.
Just
Right, hang on. Can you see this now? I can't even see. Right. So I've made a mark here that is 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches up and 5 inches in. Now the distance between this clasp here, let's just have a look, is, oh, I can't see. About 5/8 of an inch. So I know that that has got to go in the middle there. So I'm just going to make a mark with my pencil where those two sort of like, you know, these two prongy bits go, okay? So I don't know if you can see that. So now I know that that's my middle. I can work out where my prongs are going to go, okay? So they're just, I've just made a mark where they go on either side of that mark in the middle, yeah? Have we got that? Because all I need to do now is grab my knife and make, and be careful here for goodness sake, is I need to make a hole where those prongs are going to sit. Okay? So that when I then put this in like that, I might have to make my holes a little bit bigger. That will go in there like that, okay? So if I turn that over now, where's that? This little silver piece. Oh, this camera's driving me bloody nuts tonight. What the hell is wrong with it? This little silver piece fits over there. And we're going to squish those bits back like that, okay? Have I done this the wrong way around? I have. Oh, for crying out loud. I hope to goodness you guys aren't crafting along with me. Not that it matters in the slightest, actually, because you're going to be cutting holes in a minute. It's been a bit of a difficult week, to be honest with you. This bit needs to go on here, doesn't it? It goes on that bit, not that bit. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Keep those measurements anyway, because you're still going to need that bit. But this bit, that stucky out bit, exactly the same process. So 5 in, 1 1/4 up. Remember to put this on the outside, by the way. Let's make sure that's going to go on the right. Yeah. Okay, so make your hole there. Pop that in. Let's just make sure this is right this time. Yep. Then pop that on there like that. Okay, right, so that's on your long bit. All right. Right, this bit that we've already got the holes in there, what you're going to need to do with this is actually to cut that out. So we've got those holes we've already made, but you need to cut that rectangle out there.
Is it in the right place, that?
I don't know. Yeah, because it's 1.5 inches down. Yeah, it is. So be careful.
Let's just ask if it's the right depth.
Yeah.
No, if you get
No, that one isn't. Oh, guys, you know what? Should we just start? This is why I said don't put the pattern paper on. I think we'll just start this class all over again. This one's right. This one's right. Right, ignore that. You know what? I think we'll just start again. That's why I asked you to do this bit. Right, so you've got your hole here, which is in the right place. Just tidy it up a bit. Okay, and then you've got these other 2 pieces. Which is this rounded piece, which goes on there. Okay. You might have to make it a little bit bigger so you don't get all of these manky bits looking. Okay, I'm just going to make that a bit bigger. Okay, nearly there. Let's tidy it up a little bit more. Just going to grab a nail file just to tidy up those edges a bit. Right, let's try again. Nearly there. Okay, and then this bit, your flat bit, you can see it's got those two little bits there for your these folds to go into. So if you push that in, it's got like a little lip on it there, which will just fit nicely into that hole that you've just made. And then those bits, those legs that you've got on that rounded one, will fold back onto that, okay? But leave that for a second. Don't do that yet. This bit, don't fold it back permanently, because what we need to do first is just make sure that we've got those other bits in the right place. So if you fold this down, if you have that now so that it lines up there, and you make a mark with your pencil where that line goes there, that will be where that bit goes. So you're going to have to put your pattern paper on there first. So that's going to be 10 by 8. And once again, if you get your other pack of Lady Vagabonds, you're going to need this other sheet of the same papers. So once again, what we're going to do is we're going to cut this just under the 10 inches. So at 9 7/8. And then we're going to cut it at 7 7/8 of an inch. Okay. So this is going to go on there like that. Okay.
This is yummy. You can smell the paper from here.
I know, it does smell nice. So that's all going to line up nicely. Okay. So let's just pop that on quickly. Fold that over. So that lines up. I'm just going to make a mark, which I can't see.
You want two?
Huh?
You want two? You're going to make a mark?
No, I don't. I'd like something that made a mark.
My parents?
Huh?
My parents?
Yeah, might have to. Okay, so this now lines up. You can see where that lines up. So that's the top. Oh, goodness sake. That's the top of the inside bit. And that's the top of the curvy bit. That's where the actual grey board starts, and they line up. So now, just adding those up together there, I've made a mark. And that is where I'm going to pop this bit. Okay? So I am very carefully going to, I can't even see it again. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Just use my knife just to make a little slit all the way through. Oh, don't do it as hard as I've just done it. And that will slip into there like that. Yes, I've got it at last with that little silver piece, which I've now lost again. And that's going to fold back on itself like that, okay? Now you can't put any pattern paper on here yet because we haven't put the magnets on. But now you will see, we need to put some pattern paper on here in a minute, but now that will fit through there and will shut. Eureka, we got there in the end, okay? Right.
That's it for this week.
Yeah, I've had enough now. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put some magnets on here and then on here before we come to put our bits of pattern paper on. So if you grab your magnets, those. Okay, you've got 8 magnets in your kit, and you're going to want 2 on each side of here, one on there and one on there. So the easiest way to do this is we're going to get some double-sided tape. And it doesn't matter exactly where you put this, but I'm just going to put one of my magnets on there like that. And one on there like that. At this point, it doesn't matter that they don't line up with anything. Okay. All right, so I've got 2 magnets there. What we're going to do now is put on the patterned paper. So, I've used this, I don't know what you call it. I'm pretty certain that's out of the Vagabond papers. So I'm just going to look for that now. Yeah, there we go. So it's on the back of these rather nice clocks. And what we're going to do is we're going to put pattern paper on here and here. But once again, you're going to have to bear in mind that I've used mine on these bits as well to float around those bits too. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to cut it at the 8 inches. I'm pretty certain that's 8 inches. Let's just double check. Yeah, and then we're going to cut the piece in half. So if I grab my trimmer, and I cut this at just under the 8 inches, so it's 7 7/8. And then I cut it in half at 6 inches exactly. Now, when I cut these bits, we're gonna be able to put them on that front bit, and also have these bits that go round, which we'll do in a minute. So this will fit on there like that, but we need to cut it at just under 2.5 inches. So I'm going to turn it round, and I'm going to cut it at 2 3/8 of an inch. Let me just double check that, because you know nothing else has gone right tonight. Yep. Keep this really important. And I'm going to glue that on top of that there like that. Okay? So this is covering up the magnet. Okay, and I'm going to do the same on the other side, but I've got to make sure that obviously it matches. So I'm going to cut this at 2 3/8. And that is going to glue on top of that like that. Okay. Right, now, the best way I find to put magnets on is get your magnets, slide them apart, pop that on top of there, and it knows where it wants to go. Okay? And the same on the other side. It's going to clip into place. Right? If you put a spot of glue onto the top of each magnet, it will then help when you come to work out where to put it on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold that top bit up, fold my front of my book up, line it up, and I'm just going to use my hand, which has made, I don't know if you can see this very well, but now there's a little glue mark there where that magnet was. So if I put some double-sided tape there, when I come to close that up again, my magnet will be where it needs to be on this place to shut, okay? And I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So if I close that up, and just remember it's a little bit stiff at the moment because it's not used to going where we want it to go, this book, yet. So if I just, I've got a little mark here where the glue was. So now if I shut that up, line it all up, my magnet's transferred itself there. So now I can put this pattern paper on. So let's see what I used, because I can't remember. Okay, I use this really nice, oh, here's Storm. I use this really nice brown, and that, I know that's from Lady Vagabond. That one. Okay, so I'm going to cut this at just under 8 by 10. So it's going to be 9 7/8 by 7 7/8. And that will now fit over our magnets and our workings of that clasp, and you won't be able to see anything. Result. And it looks a whole lot tidier than it did a few minutes ago. Storm's trodden on something. Yeah.
Oh, on your computer.
Right. So let's just pop that over the top. Glue that down.
Pretty.
And now that looks quite tidy, which it certainly didn't half an hour ago. Okay, so that's all covered up now. So we've covered up our magnets. We've covered up the back of the clasp, and our front clasp is done, and we'll be able to put some pockets on, but we're not doing that tonight. So what I want to do next is tidy up this inside bit here. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come back and we're going to look at these side bits and this top bit, okay, because we want everything to match up. So now we know that this is what, 4.5, did I say? Is it 4.5? 4. 4 by 10. And here you can see what I've used is, this is also from, you see this is when we did it the first time and botched it. This is from the Sir Vagabond papers as well. But as you might be able to see, I've actually made it so it goes all the way down inside of the book, all the way down inside there. This is an extra piece which we'll worry about later, but we need to look at these bits. So I'm going to grab that out of the Sir Vagabond papers. Oh, is it not? Oh, Belinda, is it out of yours? It is, because it's London. I knew that. It's out of the Lady Vagabond. Of course it is. There it is. It's on the back of these doors paper. Now, because I had it centralised, we're going to cut some strips off here first, okay? So we know that that's 8 inches, 10 inches. So we need to cut 1 inch off each side, don't we? So I'm going to start off and I'm just going to cut 1 inch off each side. Okay? So that's going to fit on there, but I need to cut it down just a little bit more. See how wide that is. Cut it down a little bit more again. Perfect. Right, so I've now got this piece of paper where I've cut the outside bits off, so that this whole piece now we're going to cut into little pieces so that we get that flow across the whole of our book. So that top bit is 4 inches. So we're going to start off by cutting the top, which is where the matte bit is. And we're going to cut that at 3 7/8 of an inch. Okay? And that, I'm just going to put my trimmer away for a minute. It's going to fit over there like that. So if I just take these out for a minute. Glue that on there. Pop that over like that. Make sure you've got it the right way up. Okay, so that's facing upwards. Now we can put these bits on. So just cut out that bit of paper. Pop that on there. And then this piece will fit over there very nicely, and everything should slot into place. Now you might find that you need, well, I don't know whether a hammer would do it, but just to get those, it's quite tough to get those little slotted bits into place because this is quite thick obviously with the card. I can't do it with my hands.
What's that?
Fold those back.
Oh, use
Okay, I'm just going to tidy it around there as well. You might want to take a moment or two just to tidy that up. But basically, now, when that folds up, we've now got our clasp in place and the book folds together. Okay, now what I want to do the rest of this evening is I want to make sure before we lose all our bits of papers that we've got these bits in the side and those bits on the top. Okay, so we're going to start off with these bits here. Now we've got this piece of pattern paper that we've got left over that fits, I don't even know if that's the right one. Was it that one? Yeah, that one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut slivers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slivers, just under 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to glue them onto each of these sort of, I don't know what you call them, these lines in between the score lines. So let me just check that way around. Yeah, so I'm going to cut those 6 now. This might be better on my other trimmer. I'm going to use a smaller trimmer for this one. So each of those lines, there is a half of an inch gap in between each score line. So I'm going to cut each sliver at 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so I've cut that first one, and that I need more space. Is going to fit just there, along there like that. Okay?
I need a bigger table.
I know. So it's easier if you do it just one at a time, because I cut all mine all in one go to start with, which was all very well, but then of course I had to try and match them up again. So it's easier if you just do one at a time.
Yeah, and talking about your precision, and Helen Barker just said she has the precision, but does she need the other one?
I like both. They both have different uses, but I had the smaller one first before I had the precision. And I just find if I'm cutting really narrow strips like this one, that it helps to have that smaller one. So I'm now placing this in between those score lines so that it matches up. And I'm going to keep doing that. Trouble is, I need a new blade in this. All the way along. Really does need a new blade very badly.
What's that?
The trimmer.
Oh, have you got one?
No.
Oh.
No, can't get them at the moment. They're like flipping rocking horse dung. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just cutting strips and I'm just adding them to the fold over bit at the top of the book. So that they all line up.
Beautiful.
Yeah, make sure you've got new blades in your trimmer, otherwise you're going to have fuzzy edges like me.
Got fuzzy edges.
Yeah, I've got a fuzzy head. Okay, nearly done. Okay, and the last one on that side.
That's looking sexy.
There we go. Okay. Right. Now, before we lose all the other bits, I want to do these side bits on the outside, and I want to do these inside bits as well. So we'll start on these outside bits. Now we've kept these, so make sure you're cutting the right one. Yep. And we're going to cut 5 for each side of this.
I'm impressed with your makeup now.
Well, once you get used to it, it's ever so easy to do. It's just getting used to it. I really haven't got enough room to work here.
And that's without a cat.
I know. Don't know where she's gone.
Probably on the Monday.
Right, so let's pop that in there. Is that the right way round? No, it wasn't. It was upside down.
That's just some comments
Oops.
on there. Well, you were doing with the apple. Oh, was a cramp.
Huh?
Apple cramp.
Oh.
Ouch.
Okay, yeah, so you see, it's very easy to get this completely wrong. Right, okay. And another one. Lisa's only 5 this time. This is why I leave it in my trimmer, so that I know where I'm up to. Yeah, that way.
Oh, walk it off, walk it off. Oh, Sammy has a puppy joining her craft space soon.
I tell you, animals are not the most helpful creatures to have when you're crafting.
My computer's done.
Okay, get in there. And the last one on that side. Keep all of your offcuts and bits because they'll be useful when we're, you know, decorating up photo mats and stuff. Right. Okay, so that half, now you see it all lines up now. I've got it the right way up.
Perfect.
I'm going to do the other side. Oh, not the thing. Right, so where's that piece of paper? I just dropped it. Right, let's make sure I'm starting off on the right place. Okay. Right. No. Oh, bother. Right, make sure you get it the right way up. Okay, let's pop that there. Done it again. That's better. Okay. And the last one. Right. Is that the right way up? No. It is now.
You just wanted to see what it looked like.
Yeah, just see, see what it's like.
Yeah, a bit of artistic bent.
Okay. Right, so that is now the outside top and those inside bits that fold over like that. That's all done, but I still want to do this bit before we go tonight. So, as you remember, what we've used here is that London map, which here's the rest of it. Okay, so now I know that that lines up there. So what I'm going to do now is cut these 6 pieces from where that bit left off, if that makes sense. Exactly the same width again. I'm doing it about 3/8 of an inch. This one should be easier to get the right way around.
More obvious.
And we're gluing straight onto Tyvek. It doesn't make the slightest bit of difference in terms of gluing or anything like that. We just treat it as if it's paper.
It looks like paper.
Okay.
Feels like paper.
Oh, I don't know what that was. Oh, it was scissors. Glad my foot wasn't under there. Okay, just 2 more to do. Last one.
One more, no more.
Okay, and now we've got this bit, and we can pop that there, and it will all line up rather nicely. So we've got that bit that goes all the way along there, and it's all lined up perfectly. And unlike my original, these edges are covered in black. So that all looks nice and tidy too. Okay. Right. There we go. So that's all I'm going to do for tonight. But as you can see now, that all lines up. That's one piece of paper and it all lines up. This one on the other side, one piece of paper and it all lines up round. And then these two side pieces line up as well. So like I said, don't worry if they don't fit perfectly yet. The book takes time to kind of get itself into a position where it's happy with itself. But that is where we're up to now. My original, as you can see, is very floppy now because it's been open and closed and, you know, it all kind of fits together. So the paper's just got to kind of get used to where it wants to go. And then you'll see that everything just fits together really easily. Okay, so this is just, if you leave it rolled up this week, it'll start getting used to the way that it needs to sit. And what we'll do next week is we'll carry on with the decorating, and we'll have a look at the front with those two little pockets, and we'll start having a look at the handle, because there's a bit of engineering with that handle. So I'm sorry it's gone on a bit tonight, but I just wanted to show you how I do that bit. And I will see you guys, if you're around tomorrow. I'm doing sewing and crafting together with all brands, not Friday, because this weekend is International Scrapbook Day. So we're busy all weekend with an event in a special group. So I think if you want to know more about that, then just have a look on my main page. There's lots of information about that, and we will see you back here next Wednesday, and we will look forward to it. So see you guys. Enjoy International Scrapbook Day, because it's all about the memory keeping, which this is too. And thanks, Liz. I'll see you guys all next week. Bye.
Bye.